What if your cat has been waiting their entire life for something from you, and you never realized it? Most owners think they understand their cat pretty well. They feed them, clean the litter box, buy the toys, maybe even give them the best bed in the house. And on the surface, that sounds like love. But here is the part most people never stop to think about. What if your cat has been quietly hoping for something much simpler, something smaller, something they instinctively need, but do not know how to ask for in a way you would understand? That is what makes this so heartbreaking. Because the things cats crave most are usually not dramatic. They are not expensive. They are not difficult. In fact, they are so simple that most people overlook them every single day. And when those needs keep getting missed, your cat does not sit you down and explain it. They do not complain. They do not demand. They just slowly stop expecting it. That is the part that changes everything. Because once a cat gives up asking, the distance between you does not happen loudly. It happens quietly. A little less trust. A little less softness. A little less of that invisible bond you thought was already there. In this video, we are going to break down the things your cat has likely been waiting for you to do all along, and why the last one might be the most emotional of all. Because your cat does not need grand gestures to feel loved. They need the right ones. And once you understand what those are, you may realize your cat has been trying to lead you there for years. 1. Give them a high place they can truly own. Have you ever caught your cat climbing onto the top of the fridge, a shelf, or the highest piece of furniture in the room and immediately tried to pull them down? Most owners do. It looks like bad behavior. Like the cat is being difficult, reckless, or disobedient. But that is not what is happening at all. Your cat is following one of their deepest instincts. To a cat, height means safety. It means visibility. It means control. From above, they can watch the room, track movement, and relax without feeling like something might sneak up on them. So when your cat keeps searching for the highest point in the house, they are not trying to annoy you. They are trying to feel secure. And here is what most people never realize. If your cat does not have a high place to retreat to, they do not stop needing one. They just settle for hiding low instead. Under the bed. Behind the couch. In corners where they can disappear but never fully relax. That is the difference. A cat who hides low feels trapped. A cat who rests high feels in control. So sometimes the smallest change can shift everything. A tall cat tree near a window. A wall shelf. Even a cleared, stable spot on top of a bookcase with a soft blanket. Once your cat has that place, something changes in the way they carry themselves. They stop hiding so much. They start watching. And that is often the first sign that your home is finally starting to feel like theirs. 2. Stop petting them when they did not ask for it. This is one of the hardest shifts for most cat owners, because it feels loving on the surface. You see your cat walking by, resting nearby, or sitting on the couch, and your first instinct is to reach out and touch them. It feels harmless, even affectionate, but to your cat, that moment can feel very different. Cats do not experience touch the way many other pets do. For affection to feel good, they usually need a sense of control over it. That means they want to choose when it starts, how long it lasts, and sometimes whether it happens at all. When that choice gets taken away over and over, even in small ways, trust starts to wear down. That is why some cats flinch, duck, or walk away the moment a hand reaches toward them. They are not being cold. They are not rejecting you. They are reacting to touch that arrived before they were ready for it. And once you understand that, the real shift becomes clear. Your job is not to create every moment of affection. It is to make yourself safe enough to be approached. So, instead of reaching first, wait. Let your cat come to you. Let them nudge your hand, brush against your leg, climb into your lap, or lean their face toward your fingers. Those are invitations. Those are the moments that actually build connection. Because the more your cat feels they have a choice, the more often they start choosing you. 3. Sit on the floor at their level. When was the last time you were physically at the same height as your cat, not reaching down, not picking them up, just existing beside them? Most people never think about this. But from your cat's perspective, you are always above them. You move fast, you reach down from above. You loom over every interaction, and even if you mean no harm, that constant height difference makes you unpredictable in their eyes. To a cat, height is not just physical, it is emotional. The higher something is, the more power it holds. The lower something is, the safer it feels. That is why cats are so sensitive to how you approach them. It is not just what you do, it is where you are when you do it. So when you lower yourself to the floor, something shifts instantly. You are no longer a towering presence. You are no longer something they have to monitor. You become part of their world. And here is the part most people never expect. You do not need to call them. You do not need to touch them. You do not need to do anything at all. Just sit there. Give them space. Let them notice you. Let them decide what happens next. Some cats will slowly walk over. Others will simply relax more deeply where they are. But either way, the tension drops. Because for once, you met them where they live. And sometimes that is all your cat has been waiting for. 4. Let them sniff before you touch. This is one of the smallest changes you can make, and yet it has one of the biggest impacts on how your cat feels around you. Think about how you usually approach your cat. Most people go straight in, a hand reaching down, aiming for the head, the back, or under the chin. It feels natural, but from your cat's perspective, something important just got skipped. Because for a cat, scent is everything. It is how they recognize you. It is how they read your mood. It is how they decide if this moment feels safe. So when you reach in without giving them time to smell you first, it is like skipping the introduction and going straight into physical contact. Not dangerous, but not comfortable either. The shift is simple. Before you touch your cat, pause. Extend a finger or the back of your hand a few inches away. Then wait. Let them move toward you. Let them take in your scent. And here is where it gets important. If they lean in, rub against your hand, or gently bump you, that is a clear yes. If they hesitate, turn away, or ignore your hand, that is also an answer. Most people miss that second part, because respecting the no matters just as much as recognizing the yes. That tiny pause, just a couple of seconds, tells your cat something powerful. I see you, I'm not forcing this. And over time, that is what turns your hand from something unpredictable into something they trust. 5. Build a routine they can rely on. Have you ever noticed your cat showing up at the same spot at the same time every day, even though you never taught them a schedule? Waiting by the bowl, sitting near the door, curling up in a specific place at night. That is not coincidence. Cats do not experience time the way you do. They do not check clocks. They do not think in hours or minutes. They think in patterns, repeated sequences of events that tell them what comes next, and those patterns become their sense of safety. When feeding happens around the same time, when play shows up in predictable moments, when your evening routine follows a rhythm, your cat builds an internal map of their world. A structure they can relax into. But when that pattern breaks too often, something subtle shifts. Feeding gets delayed. Playtime disappears for days. You come home at random hours. To you, it feels normal. Just life. But to your cat, the one stable system they depend on starts to feel uncertain. And a cat in an uncertain world stays alert. Always watching, always waiting, never fully relaxed. That is why consistency matters more than perfection. You do not need to control every moment. You just need a few anchors your cat can count on. A feeding window, a short play session, a familiar evening habit. Because when your cat knows what is coming next, something changes. They stop bracing and start trusting. 6. Talk to them like they've been waiting for you to. It might feel a little strange at first, talking to your cat while you walk through the house, while you make coffee, while you sit down at the end of the day. Most people only do it in short bursts, or not at all. But here is what most owners never realize. Your cat has been talking to you this whole time. Those little sounds when you walk into the room, the soft meow in the kitchen, the quiet chirp when they follow you down the hallway. Those are not random noises. They are a language your cat built specifically for you. Adult cats do not use these vocalizations with each other the same way. This is something they developed for humans. Over time, your cat has learned which sounds get your attention, Which ones get a response? Which ones connect them to you? And then something happens that most people never think about. You do not answer back. So your cat keeps trying, day after day, sound after sound, waiting for something in return. And the shift is simpler than you think. You do not need special words. You do not need a perfect tone. Just talk. Say something when they enter the room. Respond when they meow. Let your voice become part of their world. Because to your cat, your voice is not just sound. It is presence. It is recognition. It is connection. And when you start answering, even in the smallest ways, something changes. Your cat is no longer speaking into silence. They are finally being heard. So when you look at your cat after hearing all of this, something starts to feel different. Because none of these things are big. None of them require money. None of them take more than a few seconds. A higher place to sit. A moment of patience before you touch. A choice instead of control. A routine they can rely on. A few quiet words when they speak to you. And yet, these are the exact things your cat has been waiting for. Not once, not occasionally, but every single day. The truth is, your cat has never needed you to be perfect. They never expected grand gestures or constant attention. What they needed was something much simpler and much harder at the same time. To feel understood. Because when those small moments start to change, something shifts in your cat. They become softer, more present, more willing to come toward you instead of away, not because you trained them, but because you finally became someone they feel safe choosing. And here is the part most people never realize until it is too late. When those needs go unmet for too long, your cat does not complain. They do not demand more. They just slowly stop expecting it. But the moment you start getting it right, even in the smallest ways, that expectation comes back. So you do not need to change everything overnight. Just start with one. Because to your cat, that one small change might feel like everything they have been waiting for finally happened.